And we are live. Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. I have with me the champion, the man himself, Coach Chris in the house. How you doing, Coach Chris?
What's going on, man? Happy belated birthday, bro.
Thank you. The way you say that.
I didn't get a chance to say it to you on your birthday, man.
Well, I didn't get to say it to you on your birthday, so happy belated birthday to you first, King.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
So what did you do for your birthday?
Man, nothing, man. I just, you know what I'm saying? I love training. So I was training my people. Everybody was like, "You're still training?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, this doesn't work for me." Like, I don't mind training, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always with it, you know?
Okay.
So I did my thing.
So,
got some food, you know?
Okay, that's good. Cool. So, as you know, Thursday was my birthday. It was a good day when I had a good meal. Bumped into the host of Nigerian Idol. That was fun. Roll on to Saturday, Sunday, which is today, and had a party on the beach, which was not bad either.
Right.
Beach party, fun. So, just rolled back from the beach party, and we're rolling now with you. So,
cool, man. Nice.
All good. So much to talk about, and two topics that you love to talk about. I know you're fans of the Charlos. I know you're a big fan of Tyson Fury. Everyone knows that I'm being very sarcastic. So we're going to get into both of those topics. And first of all, let's talk about the draw. 117-111 for Charlo by that disgusting corrupt judge. Let's talk about it.
Man, I just, lost, man. I think he lost the fight. I don't really, it's really not a whole lot to get into with it, man. Like, I don't know what the hell was wrong with him. I don't know. That was not part of the game plan, I'm sure, to just lay on the ropes and get
absolutely not.
battered. That was pretty bad. And what made it really crazy was his trainers in there telling him what to do, and he just wasn't listening, which was odd. But he looked off coming in. He didn't look up. He came in with that robe. I was like, the hell is that robe about? Like, I've never seen him come in with a robe. He usually has like a Lions only kind of deal, like some fur and like some sparkle, like, some colors, like little tiger stripes, zebra, you know what I'm saying? Like, he came in with that old crazy robe looking like that old Italian stallion robe that Rocky came in with in Rocky 1, man. Like, what the hell? And I mean, it looked like he completely underestimated this guy. And that was a mistake because Brian Castano came to bring the noise. I mean,
he did.
I mean, like, Compy Box was pretty clear. Out threw him, outlanded him, rocked his chin.
I will say this much. There was a lot of good defensive work there by Charlo. And I said in my review, if he lost that fight, he deserved to lose that fight because you've got your back against the ropes and you're laying a guy like Castano to land punches on you, even if they're not landing cleanly. If your back is to the judges, it looks like you're getting beaten up.
It's just such a horrible look. In that fight. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a horrible look to fight. And, it's a similar thing he did in the first Tony Harrison fight, where he was swinging wildly and letting Tony Harrison come on and land clean, solid punches on him. And he lost the fight. Broner does the same thing where he's sitting there in that shell and not throwing enough punches. And you're always going to be up against it if you're not throwing a lot of punches against the one that is throwing a lot of punches, because they look like they're winning.
Yeah.
The appearance is that they're winning. If they're throwing a bunch of shots and landing some shots and you're not throwing any shots, you better be on some Floyd Mayweather defense, And he really wasn't getting touched.
I was surprised he never threw the uppercut and he didn't throw more body shots, because from the start, looking at Castano, he holds his hands up, but he leaves all his ribs and his body open. That's the first thing. And the second thing is he comes square on, so he's well open to uppercuts. And the uppercut is a Charlo punch.
I mean, he wasn't throwing nearly enough jabs. It was just weird. It was a weird performance by him. It ended up being a good fight, though. It was an entertaining fight. They just got to run that back. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not mad at a draw. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at a draw. We can live with that score. Because, to be honest with you, the 117, 111s would kind of ruin the whole night, because it was a close fight. If that would have been 115, 114, then it would have been like, oh, okay, so close, draw. Okay, boom, run it back. But 117, 111 is like, what fight were you watching? You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody beat anybody in that fight by that wide of a margin. I thought Castano clearly won it, though. And this is just, and let me just ask you, because like we're talking about Fury and we're talking about, you know, we'll talk about him later, but everyone always says that he outboxed Wilder in.
I talked about this earlier, and I said that. How do you outbox somebody looking up at the lights and being knocked down twice in a fight?
So Fury outboxed Wilder. He boxed his face in, right? And everyone always says, oh, he won every round except the rounds he got knocked down in. But I think Castano won that fight clearer than you could have ever argued Fury beat Wilder in the first fight, to me.
Okay.
Just because of the way I like to score fights, I am a big aggressive guy. I'm about controlling the ring and aggressive, right? So, like, I don't see how you can possibly, like, especially the bigger you get, the more that's the case. Now, if it's Willie Pep and the 115-pounders and you're just out there not getting hit and the guy's throwing 1,000 punches and you're just ducking all of them, then okay, you can win a round with defense. But heavyweight boxing isn't about winning rounds with defense. And I feel like Castano was the aggressor the whole night. He brought the fight to Charlo, landed a lot of shots. Even though he got hit and he got wobbled a couple times, he didn't go down. I thought he won the fight, to me, clearly. And I thought he won it by 2 rounds. You could have maybe said 3, but he definitely won by 2 rounds.
7-5?
Yeah, 7-5 sounds good to me. I could see 8-4. I could see 8-4. Charlo, the first 6-7 rounds, won like 1 round, 2, maybe. Like, to me, he wasn't doing anything. He got him, he wobbled him in like what the second round was it? He wobbled him a little bit, or Castano. Yeah. Then Castano wobbled him too, but nobody hit the ground, so nobody got a 10-8 round. So it's like it's tough.
So wait,
you know what I'm saying?
So where did these people? Some clown came on early on this evening and said to me, this morning went, that was a robbery. I went, well, how can you work at that being a robbery? How can that fight be a robbery? It's a competitive fight between 2 guys. How can that be a robbery?
I'm not mad at the draw for everything was on the line for that fight. That was for undisputed division. And you know, the thing about it is we got to respect both of these guys coming in. I don't know if Charlo necessarily had respect for Castano, but Castano beat Errol Spence as an amateur. You know what I'm saying? Castano, that fight they say was a draw with Lara. I watched that fight on Showtime. BS. He beat Iris Lara. And Iris Lara is a really good boxer. So I thought the Castano was going to come and bring some noise. And I thought it was a good fight. I'd like to see it again.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a better question.
Let's get it going.
Ask you a better question. Do you think Errol Spence at light middleweight would beat Castano?
That'd be a hell of a fight. That'd be a hell of a fight. I don't know. I think you know what? I'll say this. I think Spence beats him. I think Spence is better than Little Charlo. I think Spence's mindset. Charlo looked like he was on some sensitive shit. Like he got in a fight with his wife last night and his mindset was fucked up. You know them Charlo boys are soft. For real. All that yelling and all that bravado, that's fake. You know what I'm saying? They're soft, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because if he was hard, because here's my thing, right? And like, I'm gonna be real with you. If you were really a tough guy like that, you'd have whooped that dude's ass last night. You know what I'm saying? If the Charlos were everything they're supposed to be, then Jamal would have beaten Montiel and Jamel would have beaten this guy. If they were really that tough.
But wait.
If their boxing toughness really matched all that.
My argument to you that is, Castano, A, how highly do you rate Castano? And B, how highly do you rate his punching power and strength? Because to me, he looked like he was physically stronger than Charlo in there.
He did.
So if kept the man on the ropes that long, you've got to have some physical strength to be able to push him out back and keep him on the ropes for that time.
You know, honestly,
And
man,
to
I
eat
think
up
all
punching
those
power
guys,
up.
I think all those guys at 154, 154 is freaking stacked. That is the most stacked division in boxing. Come on, I can't take this serious. After calling him soft, you got something personal against him.
Yeah. By the way, I have to state.
I can tell him why.
I can put the disclaimer out there. Hold on. The disclaimer is that Coach Chris doesn't particularly like the Charlos, and he doesn't like Tyson Fury. Oh, we understand. We get it. Which makes
I don't like the Charlo brothers, bro. I'm not a fan.
I will say something about the Charlos, right? What I liked from the beginning, when they first came out or they first announced themselves, right? I liked them because of their vibe and their swag and the fact that they didn't give a damn about old media. And they'll say, we're here, and if you're not going to give us respect, we're going to get respect, regardless of you. That's why I like the Charlos. Do you understand? I liked it from that perspective. But I don't know if that was all an act or if that was real genuine. That I didn't know. Now I'm beginning to wonder because I don't know.
They're weird to me. They got some weird energy about them. You know what I'm saying? They got like that. Their whole vibe is just real extra to me. Like they do the most, and I'm just not fans. Oh, good evening, Denise Wards. Good evening.
Yes, absolutely. Good evening, Denise. But the thing is, good evening, the Brotherhood, and everyone else in the house. You know, when I look at the Charlos, I always think about, strange enough, Kid and Play and House Party, and I don't know why. You remember Kid and Play and House Party?
I remember, man. I was laughing a little bit.
And I'm thinking to myself, they could be if they were boxers, you could see them being in that movie. I don't know why. There and maybe Boys in the Hood. I don't know. It's weird.
I'm not. Dude, I am just not.
I know you're not a fan of them, but I'm a big fan of Jamal's Charlo. I know you're not a big fan of Charlo's, but I like Jamal.
You know what it is? It's just that hold on, I'm sorry, I was doing something. I was gonna actually put my cam on here. Oh no, what are we doing? Well, there we go.
Oh, you're in. Yes.
You know what it is? It's not that like okay, they can fight, right? I think they're good boxers. The thing about the Charlos is their energy. They always got all this rah, 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 like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's always extra. They're always doing the most. And, you know, you got Jamal. He's trying to fight Canelo. Then you got Jamel. Oh, Canelo's the best in the sport. So it's like, are you riding with your brother or not? It's like they got beef, but then they don't. And I can always understand having beef the way they communicate. Is obviously drama there, you know what I'm saying? Then you got Jamel, he talking about Deontay Wilder this and Wilder's this and blah blah blah. And Jamal, he's getting what's his name? Breland. He's taking pictures with Breland and his trainer. And it's just like, why? What's going on with you guys? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not feeling them. And then,
I hate that. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm talking about them as pure fighters. Forget the nonsense they do outside the ring, but as pure boxers.
I thought last night Jamel looked completely uninterested. He looked like he underestimated that guy, which was not smart to do. And then he was overthrowing a lot of shots. He looked like a guy in the street. He looked like he was fighting in a bar. I just wasn't impressed with his performance. It just was not good enough. You know, like, I don't know why he thought being on the ropes was a good idea to try to land counter shots. That was stupid.
Yes, but however, if you're trying to throw
no jab, where's the jab? The jab's their best punch.
But to beat Castano, I think you've got to punch with Castano, or you've got to punch inside of Castano's punches. So when Castano's punching leaves himself wide open. So he's a guy you can crack as he's cracking throwing shots. So you've got to have distance for that.
he never pushed him forward. He never really pushed Castano back with his jab.
But when he pushed him back, he hurt him, and he forced him backwards.
But he barely did it. It was weird. It's like he could have. I think if he comes with his head on screwed right, I think he stops Castano in the rematch.
Yeah, I think
that was just on the night. I still like Charlo to beat him in the rematch, but they got to have a rematch. It was a draw. Not do that again.
Is Charlo the best light middleweight in the world?
Yeah. He is.
Doesn't Terence Crawford stop him?
Nah. I haven't seen Terence Crawford beat a good welterweight yet.
Crawford, I heard that at end of October is this last fight he has now with Zepeda, if it is Zepeda. After this fight, he's leaving Top Rank.
I'll believe it when I see it. I don't believe any of that stuff, man, especially coming out of Top Rank. Top Rank is so shady. Who knows what's going to happen? You know what I mean?
I can see him leaving Top Rank.
Everybody leaves Bob, like Oscar left Bob, Cotto left Bob, Floyd Mayweather left Bob, Manny Pacquiao left Bob. Everybody leaves Bob eventually, but a couple people will beat Tim Bradley and stay. We just have to wait and see what he decides to do. I just want Terence Crawford to fight somebody good at this point. Before you start talking about jumping up another 7 pounds and fighting one of the Charlo brothers, I don't know if he beats Erickson Lubin at light middleweight.
Does he beat Tony Harrison at light middleweight?
So I'd like to see that fight. That'd be an interesting fight. I'd like to see
Why doesn't he just fight Ray Robinson?
At welter, he won't. Why won't he fight? At least Ray Robinson's a capable guy. I'd take a Ray Robinson fight. He won't take the fight though. He won't fight Ugas. He won't fight Sean Porter.
Ray Robinson was the last guy to beat as an amateur.
That was like 15. That's crazy. Fight the man. You were a kid.
So that's a fight issue. Going back and say you beat me as an amateur. Let's put this fight in the pros. Won't do it.
I don't know what's going on with boxing, man. Boxing's just, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of good welterweights he could fight. Ray Robinson's a great fight.
What about him and Josh Taylor?
I don't want to see Josh Taylor fighting up. I want to see Josh Taylor fight like I want to see Josh Taylor in a Regis Prograis rematch.
Okay.
I would love to see that fight.
Why?
I thought that was a draw to Prograis win.
But let me ask you a question. Do you think Prograis progressed and got a better fighter since Josh Taylor's gone on to become undisputed?
He hasn't been able to fight anybody. We'll have to see. I don't know necessarily if Taylor's gotten better or if Ramirez was just getting whatever. I don't know what the hell happened to Ramirez. Maybe Ramirez was just overlooked, but that Taylor Prograis fight was just as tight as that fight last night, if not tighter, to me.
Yes,
I think the thing is,
I get it, and I get it's a good fight, but what has Prograis done to say, apart from opening up his mouth, what has he done to say, yeah, I want that Taylor fight?
Well, who else is he supposed to fight at 140?
So
you can't make these guys fight you. You can't make these guys fight you. He can't make Tank fight him. He can't make, Tiafimo fight him. He can't make these guys fight you. We got to stop holding people look, if you're going to hold somebody's resume against him, hold it against him for not accepting fights. But if motherfuckers is coming at you for fights and you're not making the fights, you can't hold Luis Ortiz. You can't hold these guys' records against them when people won't fight them, when people refuse to fight them. I would love to see Regis Prograis versus Mikey Garcia. I think that would be a really good fight.
You remember when Lennox Lewis was trying to get the chap to fight people? He'd call them out. He'd go down to the events and make sure he was there commentating, and he'd tell them. That's why Bo couldn't stand him, because he confronted Bo. Bo couldn't.
Man, that was the 90s, man, when boxers had pairs in between their legs. I don't know what these guys got now, man. Freaking, Boo Boo Andrade's at the fight. Canelo's like, get the fuck out of here, man. Baby, you're a hell of a fighter. While I'm gonna fight Abney Yildirim, like boxing's weird.
But hold on a second. What was under? Who did he just finish beating? Liam Williams. I mean, come on, you don't go out. You don't go from fighting Liam Williams to run into a press conference and saying to the pound for pound number one. You don't go and say, yeah, I want to fight you next.
Who did Billy Joe Saunders fight? Who did Billy Joe Saunders fight before he fought Canelo? Who did he fight?
Chris Eubank Jr. William Monroe Jr.
He fought Chris Eubank Jr. like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. William Monroe, Andy Lee.
Andy Lee,
who knocked out Matt Kobroff. Matt Kobroff was a dangerous middleweight at the time. Nobody wanted Kobroff at the time when Andy Lee
Billy
knocked
Joe
him out.
Saunders ain't fought nobody. Billy Joe Saunders been fighting. Billy Joe Saunders is getting wrecked off of that damn David Lemieux fight 5 years ago. Billy Joe Saunders ain't fought. Billy Joe Saunders was supposed to fight Boo Boo Andrade, but he failed a drug test and then never got back in the ring.
Okay, I hear you on that. But at the end of the day,
there we go.
Canelo fought him to win another belt.
We hear that. So check that out. What does that say about boxing? Billy Joe Saunders and Boo Boo Andrade were supposed to fight at 160. Billy Joe Saunders fails a drug test, can't fight, gets suspended, right? He gets the Canelo fight before Boo Boo Andrade. How does that work?
Okay, let me flip it on you again. How does Luis Ortiz, who failed the drug test, get 2 world title shots?
There's only one person willing to fight him.
Let me flip this again.
When did Luis Ortiz fail 2 drug tests?
He failed the drug test with the heart issue. You had that one. He failed against with what the Wilder fight. Pop Dirty Danny, Pop Dirty before then.
He was taking blood pressure medication.
They say the blood medication
it might have been a masking agent. It was a masking agent. It might have been.
Well, there we go. There you go. Well,
look, they're all on steroids anyway. Okay,
Povetkin gets busted 3 times. This guy still gets pay-per-views.
Povetkin got multiple title shots.
There we go. But you still got what's his name on the sideline? What's his name? Big Baby. Ooh. He's still on the sideline. But he got popped the same amount of times as well.
Big Baby Miller sucks. He sucks.
Whether he sucks or not is beside the point. The double standards in boxing.
Andrade is a world champion. Just fight him. He's on the same side of the street as you. Fight him.
Apply that. You can't make people fight you statement to Jamal Charlo.
Hey, man. Jamal Charlo could fight Benavidez. Nobody wants to fight my boy David Benavidez, though.
Listen, I've told you about Benavidez already. You're another one I have to tell you. Benavidez. The man's been dropped by unknown people. And who is Benavidez actually beaten? Tell me
Benavidez. I don't see
who has he beaten? Who has he beaten? To all this bravado, who has he beaten?
Nobody trying to get in the ring with him, bro.
Stop behaving that stuff, man. Who's he fought? You see, you smile at me, that big smile of us. You know who has he fought?
Who's he fought? Like you know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. Who's the last 3 guys he fought?
Oh, I don't know. James DeGale, one of them, I think.
Get out of here, man.
He can't make these guys fight you. Canelo is running away from him.
Listen,
Canelo's like, hold up, Ingram. If Canelo's sitting here talking about, I don't want to fight Mexican. I'm not fighting no other Mexican. David Benavidez like, I don't want to fight. You're like, nah, I can't fight you, you Mexican. Like, come on, bro.
This is Canelo don't want to fight him. Canelo wants to fight Beterbiev, which is a much tougher test than Benavidez. A light heavyweight. Come on.
Nah, man. He thinking of Beterbiev because Beterbiev looked like he didn't look so tough in his last fight. See, Canelo always wants you to come off not looking so good in your last fight. I need
There we go.
Canelo.
Loser Ortiz fails versus Coyote and the Wilder fight. There we go. 2 times he failed.
Okay. I didn't know about the Coyote fight.
And he probably failed the Jennings fight as well because he didn't get drug tested for the Jennings fight. And Jennings said something was suspicious about that.
Man,
he knocked out Coyote and had some sort of steroids in his system.
Boxing is really corrupt, man. Like, boxing is crazy, yo. Like, what can you say? Boxing is freaking crazy.
Is boxing crazy or the people running it crazy? That's hearsay, bro. If we're going to do hearsay, then DDG declined 50 million before Charlo fought Montiel.
These guys are all running from each other, man. The business of boxing is staying in the business of boxing. And the only way you stay in the business of boxing is by winning. The business of boxing is to stay unbeaten, having a 0 on your record. It's about staying in the business. You got to stay in the business of boxing is staying in the business of boxing. I got that from my boy Ricky Williams there.
Can I ask you a question?
What's up?
This is a random one. What happened to Brian Jennings?
What do you mean? He's old.
What happened? Old what?
What is he, 42?
Brian Jennings?
Yeah, the
Why
boxer.
can't be no more than 33?
Brian Jennings, the cruiserweight come heavyweight?
The Brian Jennings, the heavyweight that fought Klitschko. That fought Ortiz when he was drugged up.
40. Yeah, he's got
40 what? Behave yourself, 40.
Right,
Bloody Klitschko's 40. Jennings must be about, at best, 34. At best, 34, maybe 35.
He's 36.
Dang. Oh, yeah, well, still. He's still young for a heavyweight.
He's older than he's younger than I thought he was. It's because he came from
so,
Philly. They always got them damn beards, man. They look older than them Philly dudes, man. They be having them beards. You don't know how old.
What happened to Oscar Rivas? What happened to Oscar Rivas? What happened to Oscar Rivas?
He lost to Dillian White, and I guess he's off the list. He was a top-ranked boxer, wasn't he?
He still is a top-ranked boxer, isn't he?
He ain't fighting. Top rank ain't putting on no cards, man. You know this is just PBC every weekend, right? Matchroom USA hasn't had a card since Canelo fought. That was in May, right?
I know. Matchroom got a fight next week, which is Ben versus
who?
Granados.
Ben.
Conor Ben versus Granados.
That's in England.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing over here though.
But Granados is an American fighter. Top of the bill.
Ain't nobody gonna watch it. I didn't even know he was fighting him.
He's fighting next week.
I swear to God, I didn't even know he was fighting him. I had no idea. Conor Ben's a welterweight, right?
Yes.
Fights at 147? Yeah, that's right. I've seen Conor Ben fight. I didn't know he was fighting though. Was it next Saturday afternoon?
Next Saturday night, yeah.
I'll be in the house. Yeah. I'll be around probably. I'll probably watch it. I'll probably check it out. I mean, Conor Ben, we'll see how he does. If he can beat up on Granados, he might be ready to come over here and get some of this welterweight smoke then. If he can beat Granados thoroughly, because Granados is taking some good L's, but he's a good fighter.
But Granados is much like the last guy fought Sammy Vargas. These are guys that have been beat up and beat up and beat up.
I would say Granados is a little above. That's a good step.
Come on, bro. When you make Danny Garcia look like Roy Jones Jr., there's a problem.
Danny Garcia is good. Why do you dislike Danny Garcia?
I love Danny Garcia, but he's a man that needs to sit down, retire now. He's finished. He don't want to box no more, man. Forget with Danny Garcia, man.
Garcia.
He needs to sit down, Danny Garcia.
Man, Errol, just because he lost to Errol Spence, is the best.
No. It's not because of that. It's not because of that. Danny Garcia needs to sit down. To me, he just seems like a guy who now had, when some guys get to a certain level, they make a certain amount of money, they got the nice hot wife, they got the nice kids, they're like, yeah, this is a good life. And they're more happy to take photographs of their dancing with their wife and their kids. He needs to sit down. He's not really about that life of boxing anymore.
So he's ready for the wine circuit. He ready to just had a glass of wine.
Yeah. He needs to sit himself down now. He don't need to box no more. He needs to sit himself down.
He owes himself
The
to
only
see
reason,
if he can still
the
fight.
only reason Danny Garcia's come out to box now is to get himself knocked out. That's it. I'm telling you. When the
Oh,
man,
come on.
I'm telling you, he's coming back to get knocked out. What is Danny
No.
Garcia gonna do? What's he gonna do at light middleweight?
It'd be interesting to see. He
Interesting.
could come at 147. He deserves it. He deserves a chance to see if he can if he can go up.
No, man. Nah, he needs to sit down somewhere. Forget it, Danny Garcia, man.
Hey, man, I'm not against it. I think he still can show he got something.
He needs to sit down. Khan needs to sit down. Rook needs to sit down. De La Hoya needs to sit down. All them people need to sit down.
Oh, I'm gonna go in the chat real quick, man.
Hey, Broner needs to sit down as well. All the people need to sit down.
The brotherhood, man. You are like really caping for the Charlos right now, bro. In the chat, like you are like, hey, my man has been defending the Charlo brothers in the chat. He's coming in like the Green Lantern with the ring, the Justice Ring, bro.
Jamal Charles, my boy. Jamal Charles, my boy. He's my boy, Jamal Charles.
I'm not gonna disagree with that statement. That it was a good fight. The problem I had with it was a better fight than it was supposed to be. He should have got him up out of there. That's the problem. It was an entertaining fight.
You got to be honest. Both Charlos did not look great in the last fight. They not look great.
But for somebody who's supposed to be talking about going up to 168 to fight Canelo, fighting Danny Jacobs, fighting Benavidez, that wasn't gonna get it. Again, I think he wasn't. I don't think he took him seriously. I think they're taking these guys lightly.
Let me throw this at you.
That guy lightly too.
I'd like to know how much Montel was weighing that night, because nobody actually fights in their weight class. Let's be honest.
No, nobody.
Most middleweights are probably fighting at super middle or light heavy once they rehydrate.
Yeah.
So Montel, I want to know what weight he was fighting at. Castano, I'd like to know what weight he was fighting at.
You think they're weight bullying a little bit?
I think that could. People don't really look at that.
Man, look, but that's a double-edged sword. Of
course it's a double-edged sword. It's
a double-edged sword. You're coming in heavier, but you had to drain and get down to that weight, man. Like, I don't care what you say. That sucking weight takes it out of you. That takes it out of you, man. It takes it out of you. He
goes, people tend to rehydrate, 15 to 20 pounds in a night. Well, you look at Canelo weight.
Man, we don't know about Canelo, man. Canelo, we'll see what stipulations he puts on the weight clause. He stays with a weight water clause, Canelo. He be making his own weight classes. We gonna meet. He's like, he demand Errol Spence come up to fight him at 164. Like, what the fuck is 164?
He comes at 164 and he's worried about 185 on the night.
You come down to 164, I'm 188 fight night.
Like, Khan, he gets Khan to come up to 160 for the night, right? To fight Khan. He gets Khan to come up to middleweight, right? He gets Khan to come up to 160 and probably on the night, Canelo's like 190.
Man, Canelo crazy. How the hell he talk about fighting Errol Spence, who's a welterweight? This motherfucker been fighting at light heavyweight. He fighting in 175 and want to fight at 147 pounds. That's where we at in boxing right now, yo. We're in a like, hey, people, I'm telling you this in the chat. My people in the chat, listen to me. We're in a weird space with boxing. If you're like 25 years old and you're a boxing fan right now, this is a weird time that we're hopefully going to get out of, because this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't know what's going on with these cats, man.
See, that Deverenchenko fight, I told people Jamal was going to beat the pants off of Deverenchenko. Because Deverenchenko looked good because of DGG, but DGG was always overrated. Always overrated. Because you rebuke that. Hold on.
No, I'm just saying I agree with Bob there. I think Jamal is better than Jamel.
I've always said Jamal's better than Jamal.
I just think Jamel is at 154. I don't see Jamel really moving up. Jamel better stay at 154.
Yeah,
he better not come up to 160 throwing them overhand rights that ain't hurting no damn body. You know what I mean? 155 to
Yes.
180.
Khan said Canelo waiting for 155 to 180. There you go.
Shouldn't have even fought that fight.
You should have never been in that ring that night.
Khan should not have even fought that man, bro. That was stupid. That was dumb.
Well, some people, you know what they do? They bring the old Sugar Ray Leonard thing out. Oh, Leonard did it. Leonard moved up and he fought the great haggler.
That's Sugar Ray. That's Sugar Ray Leonard. That's like saying, yo, Barry Sanders did it. Barry Bonds did. Like, yeah, the greats, the all-time greats do it. But everyone that doesn't come around often. Like, you see Sugar Ray Leonard and Floyd Mayweather. You see how far apart they were.
You know what?
The times were not even near each other.
People talk about Canelo. I want to see Canelo fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. And don't anybody tell me that. Wait, no, stop. Behave yourself. No, behave yourself. James Toney, Roy Jones Jr. Who else? Who else fought a heavyweight? David Hay. Come on, man. Canelo's got to move to heavyweight. Andre Ward was talking about moving to heavyweight.
Better not. You better not. Look, man, these guys are big, bro. Like, there was a video, like, because I've never met Deontay Wilder in person, right? So I couldn't really gauge his side. But I saw a video of him. It was like a prank kind of video, I think, where they had some buffed out little short dude who kind of acted like he bumped into him, and then he acted like he wanted to fight Deontay Wilder. I think they were like in a underground causeway in Vegas or something.
I know you're talking about.
The guy was like, yo, you crazy trying to fight this man? And he was like, I'll fight him, I don't care. And the guy was like, yo, this is the champ. Look, 6'7" with an 84-inch wingspan is big. Okay. Shoulders about this damn wide, bro. About this wide, bro. Like, I don't care how much weight is underneath. When you that tall and you that big or wide, you're a big dude. You know what I'm saying? He can't bang with them boys up there, man. He wouldn't get past. I don't think he could get past Cruiser. Lawrence Okoli beat him. Canelo. He'll stretch Canelo. He'll stretch Canelo.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. What weight is Canelo actually fighting at? He could be a small heavyweight fighting.
He's down to. Well, he's only 5'8", man.
Yeah. Well, how tall is Mike Tyson? 5'9".
Man, but Mike Tyson's like a pit bull, man. His neck was bigger than mine. I'm 300 pounds. Mike Tyson's neck was like this.
Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Jr. is also like 5'11".
James Damn Toney.
And hold on. And Roy went up for one fight versus Ruiz and didn't get hit except in the body. And that wasn't good for him. So that took a lot out of him training to get that.
Let me throw this at you. When Canelo moved up and fought Kovalev for the title, I think Kovalev only threw a jab in that fight, not one right hand. I'm sure he can.
Hey, Canelo, that good, Canelo? That good right there? All right.
No, that good
I'm going to get knocked out, okay? All right, go ahead. Hit me.
Hit it. Go. Now.
Oh. Canelo, you're so good. Oh, my God. You knocked me out. Oh, my God.
I've got the money now to start my rum factory, my vodka factory.
All right, I'm good. I'm ready now. Where's my check and my secret check that I got? The briefcase y'all gonna bring to the hotel. Come with that too, because that was about as fixed.
James Toney for heavyweight.
Hey, Ingram, man, can we get to the other subject? We gotta get to the other subject, man.
Yeah, okay. Let me just finish this off and we'll get to the next subject. I know you're dying to get to that subject. After Garcia lost Errol Spence Jr., that showed he's no longer at top at 147. Exactly what I've said. Short of Ingram Jones killing himself to get him down. I don't think anyone's trouble Spence.
I'm going to go get something to drink really quick. 1 minute.
Okay, okay, cool. Sounds good. Canelo Ortiz, let's see it. No. I don't want to see that. I think he'll stretch him. I think Dr. will stretch Canelo. I don't want to see that. James Toney was 10 people away at heavyweight, and he didn't put in his best training camps. He was quite impressive. The fights against him and Samuel Peters were real good fights. Kovalev took a dive. I'm sorry. Oh, hell yeah. James Toney's career all the way to heavy, once dropped at lower weights and never KO'd. Damn good fighter. Damn good fighter. Yeah. But what I'm talking about here, people, is that people are calling Canelo a pound for pound great. That's fine. But for him to move up to heavyweight, that would be historical. Because you look at guys, Roy Jones has done it. He was a pound for pound. James Toney, he was a pound for pound. Even Iran the Blade Barkley at one point, I think, fought a heavyweight. David Hay fought a heavyweight. Evander Holyfield's moved up. So why can't Canelo make it? I don't understand why it's a big thing for Canelo to move to heavyweight. But he'd have to fight a small heavyweight. A smallish heavyweight. And again, I haven't anything against Trevor Bryan. But maybe Trevor Bryan? I don't know. $2 to talk about the Kovalev dive.
That was the phoniest damn fight I've ever seen in my life.
I think we should get a little bit more just for actually rehearsing and actually reenacting that performance.
That was so phony, bro. Should have been like that singing group, Phony, Phony, and Phony.
Or Milli Vanilli.
That was so ridiculous. It was like, are you trying to win the fight or what? Too many of his fights look like that. Canelo shenanigans to me. Let's talk about your other buddy who's shenanigans, though.
Oh, Tyson Fury. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? The camera's going only on you. I got my face at this one. The camera is all on you, bro. Just give it. You know what? I've been in a shell for about a week. I've heard what's been going on about Fury, but give us the lowdown, and then I'll respond to it. So the camera's all on you, bro. I know you're going to love this. So tell us what's been going on with Tyson Fury for the last week since I've been on holiday.
I mean, first of all, I put out a video earlier last week.
Tyson's got COVID, hasn't he? Well, he's got COVID, right?
They warned me, gave me my first warning talking about Tyson Fury. Okay, first of all, Tyson Fury got COVID, right?
Yeah.
Even though later that week he out maskless, renting cars in the casinos. Then all of a sudden now, because a month ago, his damn father was on the internet talking about, I don't like this fight. I'm scared for my son. Oh my God, my son, this fight could all go wrong. It could all go wrong out there in America. I don't like how it's handled. Drop the belt and fight Anthony Joshua. Why would you fight Wilder again? You don't want to fight him. No, he could be a completely different fighter. But now all of a sudden, Fury got COVID. He coming back to England. Oh, we're going to smash him. We're going to smash him to bits. He's the worst fighter ever. Like,
what happened? Why the energy change?
Well, we know why the energy changed. He's going to go find the nearest pig farm and get him some good old uncastrated boar meat. That's actually, I agree with Mr. McKenzie there. I think he's going to retire. He's not going to fight Deontay Wilder. Anybody that at this point wants to say that he didn't cheat in that fight and wants to act like Fury won that fight on the level, you are out of your mind. He has been ducking this fight since last October. He had to go to court. They had to force him to get into the ring for the fight. He goes and gets into sparring. He shows up to the training camp. He looks like he hasn't done a push-up in 6 months. He looked like a melted Snickers bar up there at the press conference, bro. He goes into sparring. He does an interview with Gareth Davies. He looked like he got beat up with a baseball bat. He looked like he got beat up behind a restaurant with a baseball bat. But we come to find out, no, he was getting his behind whipped in sparring by F.A. Ajagba slow ass and Jared Big Baby Anderson. Dude, if you're getting pieced up with headgear on by these young boys, what do you think Deontay Wilder, not on the influence of whatever the hell I'll put in his water, is going to be? Right? I mean, you got the formula, right? But see, you're not going to have your magic gloves because it's going to be, you're going to fight this fight under a microscope. Everything Tyson Fury does, his team does, there's going to be a magnifying glass on it. He's scared out of his mind. There's also rumors going around now that he wants to hire Freddie Roach to be his head trainer. So he wants to get rid of Sugar Hill, who just trained him to administer the biggest beating in boxing history, according to the English media, right? It was the worst beating ever, despite the fact that he finished the fight on his feet. It was the worst loss of all time, right? He's going to get rid of the trainer that taught him how to do that and get Freddie Roach after dropping out of the fight, having COVID, but going around maskless in casinos with COVID. Oh, but he beat the new Delta strain of COVID in 6 days somehow.
No, it's Tyson Fury. That's why.
Allegedly, or whatever, right? Just you didn't have it, right? So just say you didn't have it and just you're not ready. And then we're not delaying the fight a month, a week, 6 weeks. They're delaying the fight till October 9th.
Let me ask you a question.
October 9th. It ain't even NFL training camp. They talk about the middle of the NFL season.
Let me throw this at you. What would you have in your system that would clear within that period of time?
In 3 months? Steroids.
Yeah. Because that's the only reason why I think you'd come back to England. Why would you come back to England?
To not get drug tested.
But you'd get drug tested in England.
Y'all drug testing is bullshit. Every boxer in England's like on steroids pretty much, yo. It is what it is. He failed a drug test before the Christian Hammer fight. He had already fought Christian Hammer and fought Klitschko before he got in trouble for it. I don't drug test for real over there.
Do you think in between the time they said he got COVID, it was he was going to get busted for some drugs or drug test, and that's why it was cancelled and got his ass coming back to England?
Yeah. Yeah.
Private healthcare, and if he works with a doctor in the UK, then he doesn't get. He can have it all hush hush with a private doctor. Whereas if it's in America, it might get out because his American doctor isn't sure it's an American doctor as he has a UK doctor.
In England, you guys use the therapeutic use exemptions. You go to a fertility clinic and say, "Hey, I'm trying to get my wife pregnant. I need fertility drugs. I need testosterone." And they'll prescribe him tests.
That can't work because his wife's pregnant. She's meant to due and have a baby soon.
Wants to have another one.
The baby's due in July, I think, or August.
His dick don't get hard. He'll say whatever. It don't matter. You can get one after the fact. The drug test is BS over there, bro. So
why would you fly back to the UK? Why didn't you have to fight back? If you so much wanted to fight, as all the Fury fans are saying, why didn't you say let's get the fight back on in September?
I also think he wants to spar outside of America so he can figure out another way to cheat.
But how can you cheat if you're going to come back to fight in America? How are you going to cheat?
We're talking about a cheater, man.
So Wilder knew he had a master plan. And when Wilder said he had a master plan, that's when Fury suddenly got COVID and was heading back home.
Fury ain't going to fight Deontay Wilder again.
What about him trying to change trainers to Freddie Roach? What do you make of that?
He's looking for confidence. He can't beat him fair. He hasn't fought him fair yet. He's scared to death. They're going to fight October 9th. That's a year and what? 8 months? That's a year and 8 months between fights. He's trying to figure out something. He's trying to figure something out.
Well, I was thinking that is another way to take the steam out of Wilder's legs. So like he's really amped up and ready to go. I thought, well, if I delay this fight, he's too fired up. I'll take the steam out of him.
Nah. All he has to do is just start over. Pretend the fight happens. Here's what they should do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Train like regular till the 24th.
Mm-hmm.
Take this week, relax, and then go on a break, and then start over again. I don't think this is going to help Fury taking this time away. Wilder's focused in, bro. Wilder wants blood. This isn't a game. Like, he wasn't playing about when he said he wants revenge. He wants it back in blood. He literally means that.
So, I think Manny's juices the gills for hiring Freddie Roach as suspect.
I mean, yo, it's a lot of shady characters, a lot of shady goings on around here, bro. Why do you have Joseph Parker in his camp?
Why do you have Joseph Parker in his camp?
Joseph Parker's 6'3". Why is he going to have Joseph Parker in his camp to fight Deontay Wilder? We're not thinking Joseph Parker and all those drug allegations might mean something, right? Because Joseph Parker got pulled up for he was part of a drug ring, right?
Yep.
And what are PEDs, Ingram? Drugs. And what do drug dealers do? Get their hands on drugs. You know what I mean? For real. Everything around Tyson Fury is just so shady. He's like the shadiest boxer ever. I swear to God, if he wasn't boxing, he'd be like breaking thumbs for the mob, bro. It's crazy. Everything from him, everything about everything, the gloves, Wilder's water, the farmer, the damn pig testicles he was eating. He was eating pig testicles. That's why he failed a drug test. He said that in a courtroom. I ate the pig nuts. That's how I failed the test.
Put his fist in petrol.
That's what he said. I'm going to put my fist in petrol. That's going to make my fist hard. Not that I'm going to play with my gloves. No, it wasn't that. It was the old gypsy remedy of putting my fist in petrol. That's what did it. Yeah. There we go. It's a con man, bro. He's BS. Without the cheating and the drugs, Joe Joyce would whip his ass. Joe Joyce would stop him. I think Fury is all facade. See, like, I'm not a big fan of the Charlos because of how they get down, but the Charlos can box. I mean, you're not unified. Like, I can dislike Jermell Charlo all I want. He's the unified light middleweight champ. I can't take that away from him no matter how much I dislike how he gets down. Tyson Fury's whole swag is busted. It's whack. It's fake. It's not real. Those fights versus Wilder were facades, bro. You don't go into no fight with loaded gloves. He's a coward. And then don't want to give him back the rematch. Basically, yeah, I can fight for my belt. I can fight for your belt, but not give you the chance to win it back. It's not a man.
So what do you make of the whole situation about the judge? What does the judge think of all this?
Man, I don't know. It's a whole bunch of foolishness. It's a whole bunch of foolishness, man. Boxing's just looking real crazy right now. It's looking.
And there's no further information about Joshua versus Usyk. Contract ain't signed yet.
This is going to be interesting.
I wonder if they're going to try and sit Dillian White in at the last minute.
Versus who? AJ?
Yeah.
Who knows what Eddie Hearn, man? Eddie Hearn doesn't make big fights. He doesn't.
What do you think of this statement here?
I could agree with that because he does seem enamored with his power. He doesn't want to seem to work for it.
Yeah.
Like for him, he laying along the ropes and trying to bring him in and let him fight and try to knock him out like he's Deontay Wilder. And it's like, you can't do that, son. You're not Deontay Wilder. You can't. You don't punch that hard. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that's a very true statement. Jamal, I just want to see him. I want to see him against somebody good now. And it doesn't have to be
I want to see him in a super fight. That's what I want for him.
I would like to see him versus Danny Jacobs, though. I think that'd be a good fight. I'd like to see that.
No, I don't want to see Dan Jacobs fight again, period. He's another one that needs to sit down.
I kind of agree with you. But if he was going to fight, so you wouldn't fight, you wouldn't watch him fight Jamal Charlo?
No, because I don't want to see Dan Jacobs in another fight, period.
Really? You wouldn't watch Charlo?
Would you watch Charlo versus Gabe Rosado?
Yeah.
Would you watch Charlo versus Lemieux?
I mean, I'd watch it because it'd be on, but I wouldn't be looking forward to it. Lemieux's washed.
Charlo versus Edgar Berlanga.
It's too soon for Berlanga.
Okay.
Way too soon. Way too soon. Yeah, Charlo smoke him like a pack of Newports. Either of them.
Charlo versus Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, he wouldn't take that fight, but I'd watch that, yeah.
The fight I want to make is Charlo versus Chris Eubank Jr. That's a fight.
I completely agree. That'd be a good fight.
Who wins and why?
I'm going to just say Jamal Charlo because of the jab.
Yeah.
Real safe determination there. I do think Charlo would win. I don't think Eubank has the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think Eubank has the boxing IQ to win more rounds than Charlo over 12 rounds, or not to get himself stopped. Because Eubank has a bad reputation of trying to be tough and getting hit. Eubank ain't known for not getting hit. Eubank's not known for defense.
I mean, yeah, but Groves can stop him.
Yeah, that's Groves.
Charlo, do you think Charlo hits as hard as Groves?
I don't really rate Groves' power in that division. Yeah, I mean, it's not saying. I mean, I don't think.
Hey, listen, Groves dropped Froch. Not many guys do that. There's only one other man that did that, and that was Taylor.
I don't know. I still think Charlo gets him though. Hey, you're laying. He's laying into Jamal Charlo. I don't know if you could necessarily call that a knockdown, him along the ropes. I saw you talking about that earlier. I don't know if you can necessarily say that was a knockdown. He did kind of lean though. He was like lean with it, rock with it. He was like that a little bit.
Okay, I don't want to see this fight because I actually want to see this guy move on. But if I had to, Charlo versus Andrade. I don't want to see that fight, and I don't want to see that fight for Charlo.
Who, Charlo versus Andrade?
Don't want to see that fight.
Really?
No.
I'd like to see that.
Only because I want to see Andrade go beat Jacobs.
I thought you didn't want to see Danny Jacobs fight.
Yeah, well, I don't particularly want to see Andrade fight either. But put them two fight.
So that'd be an excuse to skip a fight and be like, yeah, it's Andrade versus Jacobs. I'm gonna skip this one this weekend. Okay.
And I would put Charlo against GGG.
There's no way that fight's happening. Triple G hasn't fought anybody in years.
But Triple G's talking about fighting Canelo next.
Oh yeah, he'll always fight Canelo. I think he'll get stopped now though. Canelo mess around, stop him. I don't think he wants to do that.
Oh boy, Eubank Charlo would be a great fight, but I'd have to carry a double pillow to the ring, train with Charlo night.
You have a pillow on the stretcher.
Do you know why I love? Do you know one of the reasons why I love Charlo? It's because when I saw him rising from light middle to middle, it's the way he was knocking guys out. He was knocking guys out, and top guys as well, knocking them out. And then he moved to middleweight. He was still knocking guys out.
Yeah.
I
I'd
think
like to see
Andrade
that fight.
cleverly
I'll watch it.
outsmarts hustles Jacobs in a very high octane fight. High octane. Might be the gaseous sniffing on. That's about the only octane.
Ingram is not like Danny Jacobs, man.
No, I can't stand that guy.
Ingram is not like Danny Jacobs. He's like, get that guy out of here.
I gave that guy a chance against GGG. I said he wouldn't get dropped or stopped by GGG, and I thought he could outbox GGG. But he was scared of GGG. Then he went that same crap against Canelo. I thought, that's it. I'm done with you. I don't want to see you no more.
Danny just be happy to be there. Danny be like, I'm getting this check.
I'm just happy to be there. Thanks for the opportunity. I'm happy to be there.
He's like, pay me my $3 million.
Yeah, that's it.
Dollars.
Yeah.
My wavy Jerry curl.
Yeah.
My Jerry curl fro. Danny Jacobs be like,
I'm ready. I'm happy to be here.
I bet Danny Jacobs be in the mirror, he put his button up on. He'd be like, he one of them guys that wears a white button up to the club.
He's one of them guys that gets a free ticket to get into the nightclub and goes, he's the first guy there, and he goes, I'm happy to be here.
And Danny got the white button up on and the wavy, he'd be like,
man. I was a big fan of Danny Jacobs. Right, when he came back and he had all that situation of him with the cancer and he beat cancer and he came back and became champion. Loved him when he beat Kid Chocolate. Yeah, loved all that stuff. And then, as soon as he signed with Matchroom, he was over.
He went into that fight versus Kid Chocolate. It's like Peter Quillen was sleeping with his woman or something.
Yeah, and then
that fight took look. That's the most. Look, he went into that fight with Peter Quillen.
It was most vicious I've ever seen Jacobs.
That was a vicious ass whooping he put on Peter Quillen. I was like, God damn.
But Quillen was scared of him, though. Quillen was scared of him.
He had a reason to be. He got his ass whipped. He got knocked the fuck out. He got beat up. Got his ass whooped. And then Dan Jacobs from then was just like, for the champ.
Do you know what? I go back and look at that Pirog fight. I'm so happy watching that Pirog fight. I would love to see Pirog in the middleweight division.
Hey, Danny Jacob. Hey, I don't know if it happens in England like this. Hey, but for those guys from America, you know what I'm talking about? When cats be squared up and just be Danny Jacob just squared up. Like you gonna throw a punch, just like jab, like are you gonna fight or what?
I'm sick and tired of that. I don't want to see nothing but Danny Jacobs again. Never again. No more. Never. In fact, there's a lot of guys that sign with DAZN I don't really want to see fight. Like
DAZN is the worst.
It's terrible. Garbage.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. You know what I mean?
How many guys on DAZN would you say have got personalities?
Billy Joe Saunders.
Flipping
a little bit.
The guy that his personality. No.
It's terrible. It's a terrible personality. If you got one.
Who else? Usyk.
Not Usyk, not AJ, not Povetkin.
People?
No.
What superstars has DAZN signed? Don't say Canelo because he doesn't count. Go on. DAZN superstars, name them. Remember when DAZN was signing all them fighters? And it was like, yeah, DAZN's the place to be. Really? Yeah, superstars, tell me. Forget AJ. AJ doesn't come into the equation as such. And can somebody name me a list of superstars that the Zone have got? Yeah, I wanted that too. I wanted that too. That's why I can't stand Jacobs. Exactly.
Zone superstars. The only superstar the Zone has is Eddie Hearn, bro.
And AJ.
He don't box though.
Right, of course AJ boxes.
No, I mean Eddie Hearn. And you know it's tough. AJ, it's tough to say AJ is really a superstar because AJ don't box a lot.
But he's an event.
But he don't fight. He ain't fought. Like, he didn't fight all of last year except for December. And it's already July. Who did he fight?
Pulev.
And who did he fight before that in 2020? Nobody, right?
He fought, what's his name? Ruiz in the rematch. No, Pulev. He fought Ruiz.
That was in December. That was in December the year before. Yeah, he don't fight enough to really be a superstar, bro.
Well, he hasn't cracked America. That's the biggest problem with AJ.
Well, he can't fight. He sucks.
Oh, shit.
I'm serious. He's all right, but he's not like, okay.
His resume is good, though. If you look at AJ's resume, it's pretty good.
All right, so it's 20. It's since he fought Alexander Povetkin in September.
Bear man, we had COVID as well.
I know, but he fought Povetkin September of 2018, right?
Yep.
He didn't fight Andrew Ruiz until June of the next year. That was 9 months away.
Yep.
And then he fought Andrew Ruiz in 6 months. He fought him in December of 2019. Then he fought Pulev December of 2020.
Yep.
And he hasn't announced a fight yet.
He's fighting a thing in September. Supposedly fighting Usyk in September.
It's on BoxRec, but that don't matter. But what I'm saying, he don't fight enough, man. He's not fighting enough. He hasn't fought enough, man.
Hello, Watcher. We're just talking about DAZN and the amount of fighters, superstar fighters DAZN have got on on the DAZN or on the Matchroom boxing. Eddie Hearn has called himself the best promoter in the world.
Like, here's my question: how come Michael Hunter can't get a fight?
Well, I saw that coming with Michael Hunter. I saw it happening with Hunter. Hunter's he's become the forgotten man in the heavyweight division. The best promoter. By world, Eddie means UK, mainland Europe, and Luxembourg.
It's just a shame that Tyson Fury's doing this in the heavyweight division, is putting everything on hold.
We've got to ask the question, why is Joshua not announced his fight with Usyk? What is in the contract? What's the issue? What's holding up the fight?
Man, I'm telling you, boxing needs a league, man. It's looking real shady, yo. It's looking real shady. Unbelievably shady, Ingram. And I mean, the fact that this guy dropped out of this fight.
Yeah,
we were talking about that earlier.
So why do you think watching that Fury would bring Freddie Roach in again? And why did WBC allow Fury to be messing around the belt for so long? Unless WBC like Tyson Fury.
They do.
Well, what makes you think that?
Because they didn't investigate the fight, and their 5-year, 10 defenses reigning champion asked them to. The 10-year champ, the 5-year champ, 10 title defenses, paid all them sanction fees, insinuated that he was cheated in a boxing match, and the sanctioning body didn't even look into it. And Tyson Fury's not even from this part of the world. That lets you know there's some there's politics, man. That's what it is.
Well, it's the WBC would decide that fight.
Man, that fight was on some other shit. That second fight was so fugazi. Who knows who's involved with that fight? Who knows where that goes? That was weird. Nah, we don't need them. And I mean, somebody's involved with it now, because boxing's so damn rigged. 117, 111. That was crazy. 117, 111.
Where does Al Heyman fit in all this? Because he doesn't seem to be having any issues, does he?
He's getting a lot of fights. PBC has a lot of dates, you know.
Well, remember they're saying PBC is going to shut down, and PBC they weren't going to get dates, and this was going to happen to PBC, and that's going to happen to PBC. Seems business as usual with PBC.
Putting on fights, putting on pay-per-views, he's trying to. You know, considering Tyson Fury ran off like a chicken. But they still got Errol Spence versus Pacquiao, which is a big fight.
I don't think Fury will fight him. I told you, I think Fury's going to retire. But it's the same stuff Fury did with the Klitschko fight. I said to people, the same stuff he did with the Klitschko. I heard the mental health issues coming back as well.
Yeah, he brought that back up. Yeah, he had an Instagram post like, oh, it's the invisible guy. He's lying, yo. I don't believe him. We don't need no damn syndicate, man. We need federal regulation, bro.
We need judges like that guy. I said it early on. We need judges like that guy last night to be thrown out of boxing and made an example of. Get him in a room, live interview, and explain to the boxing world round by round how you scored 117 and 111. And if you can't explain it, you're going to get fined and you're going to be told to retrain as a boxing judge. And you cannot judge anywhere for the next 6 months. Yeah. Let's see how quickly you'll put 117, 111 up again.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
We've not seen Fury defend a world title he's won yet.
Because he cheated to win everything he's ever done. He's a cheater. And when you find out he's cheating, he wants to leave. He doesn't want to play no more when you find out he cheats. He's a chicken shit is what he is.
Federal regulation, that's the syndicate. That's what I mean. Either one mafia family or a syndicate. How powerful is Al Heyman, do you think, Chris?
I don't know. I don't even know what he looks like, man. I'd love to train some of his fighters. You know what I mean? People hire me, Al. Hire my company, Winning Results Fitness. Hire us. You know what I'm saying? We can get your boys right, and we'll do it without steroids too. Boxing just looks crazy. I mean, there's
something's going on.
High school football looks more organized than boxing right now. Boxing looks like
what Bob and Frank did to Eddie, do you think that was calculated?
What do you mean?
By telling him about the arbitration, and then it all ends up being a mess for Eddie.
I think everybody in America, everybody in the world knew that freaking
there was arbitration.
There was an arbitration, so. I think a lot of that was just BS. I think they're still hoping that they can somehow get that fight off.
There was some talk about there's a loophole that Fury can actually get out completely out the fight. That's what the rumors were.
Fury is a fucking pussy. Fuck Tyson Fury. And here's my thing. And like this is like just being real facts right now to the UK. Y'all support this kind of stuff? Y'all support Tyson Fury running from Deontay Wilder. Fight was supposed to be this Saturday. He ran away like a chicken, like a little kid. He ran off. He ran. He said, "You know what? I don't want to be here. I'm leaving. You can't make me fight him." And they said, "We'll push it back 5 fucking months or whatever it is." And he leaves off. He runs off. He lies. All the people that we all know in this chat, everybody that we know that we've lost, all the precautions, all the businesses, all the money you might have missed, all the opportunities, the dates, everything you might have been able to do if it wasn't for COVID-19 and having a pandemic. And this guy lies and says he has it. He lies. But you're going to support him as a boxing fan. That's the problem with the sport, because I don't see how anybody could support this guy.
A lot of the guys that would normally come in, a lot of the guys that would come in there talking the crap, they've gone very quiet, very quiet.
I mean, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care how much you dislike Deontay Wilder, his skinny chicken legs, or whatever hell you want to say. You're with that. It's like a snake. He's like a freaking slime bucket. He's a scumbag. It's ridiculous. But people are with it, and I think they're with it because they got to see a big dark-skinned dude get his ass beat. They don't care if it was with loaded gloves by somebody that was jacked up on all kind of steroids. They don't care. They just want to have that image in their face. That's why they made a freaking statue of it over there in England. I mean, we don't make statues of the English guys we knocked down, so what was that about? Right? It's not the first time an English person's beaten an American fighter. Joe Calzaghe beat Jeff Lacey and Roy Jones Jr., right? So
and
why,
Hopkins.
And Hopkins. So why is there a statue with Tyson Fury beating Wilder? Oh yeah, that's right. We know. And like that's the thing, is crazy. Like we know. We can see it. We see the obvious racism, and you can sit there and say it's not about it, but we see it. We know it. It's 2021. We're getting smarter now. It's hard to placate and pander to us now, you know what I'm saying? We're getting smarter about it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Totally disgusting behavior. And anybody that roots for Fury should be ashamed of themselves, to me.
If Fury decides not to fight Wilder, what happens?
I think the issue's gonna hit the fan, man. I mean, I don't know. Like the way Fury's father was talking, they obviously don't think Wilder has any evidence. But just seeing how obvious that damn fix was in on that fight, I'm expecting there to be some evidence, and I guess we'll all get to see it. I mean, it probably won't be on ESPN, right? Because ESPN will just act like it didn't happen.
Yep. It's interesting how old school media keep it very quiet.
Yeah. It's almost like the fight never even happened. They're like, oh, the fight, now they're lying to you. Oh, the tickets weren't selling. That's why they had to cancel it, because the tickets weren't selling.
That's crap that Eddie Hearn was talking about.
Bullshit.
Nobody should ever trust that.
Like, here's my thing about Eddie Hearn. How the hell is he? How could he possibly know? I don't think they're gonna have no tournament.
Declared vacant, and the tournament
They'll order a fight.
And
They'll order
Wilder
a fight. No, they'll order a fight. Wilder versus somebody.
Wilder versus Dillian White.
That'll be a 1-round knockout.
I'm telling people. Yep.
It'll be that fight will last 2 minutes.
I believe so too.
2 minutes tops. Dillian White is far too easy to hit. He'll hurt Dillian White, yo.
Bad.
Hurt Dillian White. Dillian White will get stretched so bad. I don't think Dillian White actually wants that fight. I think he just talks about him to get his own pockets lining. He can get fights versus Povetkin and Maurice Wack and all them other weirdos, because he ain't getting in the ring with no Wilder, because he could have fought Dominic Michaud to get the fight.
In Wilder Fury case, for example, does Fury plan to delay for year after year? No guarantees a fight will happen in October.
Well, if the fight doesn't happen in October, obviously it's a bust. I mean, what's he going to say now? He got COVID again?
The WBC will not let Wilder have the belt back. They know that they can't let Fury keep it. They might declare a Fury franchise. Well, I heard that one before.
That's not how that works, though. Franchise is only for guys that go up and down in weight.
I
So
thought
for
franchise was the protection belt.
well, it is a protection belt for people that move up and down in weight. If you're a heavyweight, you're just a heavyweight.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. I'm here. Let's go. Dillian White.
Yeah, Dillian White has no intentions of fighting Deontay Wilder. Dillian White could have fought Dominic Brazil and been the mandatory, but he wouldn't even fight Dominic Brazil to get the mandatory. So there's no way in the world he thinks he can beat Deontay Wilder. He knows he can't fight him. He'll get killed.
Otto Wallen versus Dillian White.
I'd like to see it.
It's a good fight.
I want to see Dillian White versus Luis Ortiz.
I want to see Dillian White. No, I don't. I want to see Dillian White versus Prince Charles.
I want to see him versus Luis Ortiz. I think Luis Ortiz stretches him too.
Forget Luis Ortiz, man. He's been stretched twice already. What do you want to see him fight for?
By the same guy. He's been stretched by the champ.
There we go. Here we go. Here's one now. The whole cheating thing doesn't make sense because if Fury had loaded gloves, how did the whole loaded gloves help him evade Wilder's right hand? There we go.
I'm not answering that stupid fucking question, Ingram. It's a stupid fucking question. Cheating doesn't make sense. Not arguing that point no more. For a year. Fuck that.
WBC have never been happy with Wilder as champion, and they loathe to just give him the belt back. They're making work for it.
They got it, but they got to enforce a mandatory vacant fight, so it'll be Wilder versus somebody else. Who will it be though? They could do the good old vacant unification like they did with AJ and Vladimir Klitschko.
Maybe they could put Usyk in there. That's probably why they're fighting inside and see if they can get Usyk fighting for the number one, could get him a world title shot against Wilder.
I mean here's my thing. AJ will never fight Deontay Wilder either, so it doesn't matter. So none of these European guys. The only guy that wanted to fight Wilder was Fury, and that's because he was cheating. And now that he can't cheat, he doesn't want to fight. So I'm convinced that nobody in England wants to fight Deontay Wilder.
If AJ doesn't fight Usyk, then Usyk could fight Wilder for a vacant belt. That's the way they could do it.
Usyk's not going to fight Deontay Wilder. These guys don't want to fight Deontay Wilder. I just said what my thoughts were. That fight lasts 2.5 minutes. I don't think it goes 2 rounds.
Wilder versus Usyk will make Wilder guilty of manslaughter.
Usyk is not fighting Deontay. Look, these guys don't want to fight Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury is running for his life. Okay? He has to have a fair fight with Deontay Wilder, and he's been running since last October.
Andy Ruiz won't fight him. Andy Ruiz won't fight him because he's going to fight Ortiz. So he's out of the ranking or reckoning.
Ortiz can beat Ruiz.
I know Ortiz can beat Ruiz.
He's going to beat the hell out of him.
You think so?
Yeah.
Ortiz must be 55 years old now. Come on, man.
He's not 55. However old he is, he's going to knock his ass out.
If he comes in with that slim fast diet, then yeah, he will.
He's going to knock Andy Ruiz out. Andy Ruiz is not that good. AJ's not that good.
Andy Ruiz is good.
Nah. He's alright. He's okay.
He's good, bro. He's good.
Nah, he's okay.
He lost that weight, which is a stupid thing to do.
He fought Chris Arreola, and he was on his ass versus Chris fucking Arreola. He's not that good. Chris Arreola has been washed for about 6 years now.
I know. But that's him losing the weight.
He was on the damn ground. Yep, Tyson Fury is running.
It's not good. Hey guys, when you're in the room, please do smash the like button. It always helps. Smash the like button.
Hit the like button. Share and like the video. I really don't think he's gonna do it, man.
Yeah, it's a shame. Do you think there's anything else we need to talk about tonight, bro?
Man, I think we should call it, man. It's a good show.
I think so. All right, bro. Thank you so much, as always.
Shout out to the chat.
Oh, let's see what.
Oh,
Hold on.
Glanza.
Yeah. Oh God, that was a long time ago.
What was that? Fight
That was a
number
long
8?
time ago. Yeah, it was a long time. Fight number 9. Actually, he was also down against a guy called Harold Sconiers. That's the fight you really want to see. That
Yeah,
Sconiers, but that fight got wiped from things. So the Harold Dustin fight, so it doesn't matter. Wait, hold on. Tyson Fury is down against Steve Cunningham. He got dropped by Nevin Pajcek. So I mean, he was down by Wilder as well. So
who was drugged the night before,
well,
who
there we
had
go.
diarrhea in the ring because he was drugged.
Usyk will outbox Wilder, but I think Wilder will catch him. Ruiz is dangerous but overrated. White is the most overrated heavyweight in the world.
Usyk will not outbox Wilder.
I think Andy Ruiz should be put 15 pounds back on, losing all that, took punch resistance. That's what I said.
He should train properly instead of going on a slim fast diet.
I know.
Get in
Cook
shape.
fast. Yeah, he probably didn't do it the right way either. Right. Coach Chris, as always, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
And we'll wait and see what nonsense comes out this week from Tyson Fury and
hopefully nothing.
Fury Gate. Fury Gate. It's almost like a WWE weekly episodes. What
it
happens
makes
next
boxing
Fury?
look so ridiculous. It makes the sport look ridiculous.
Where's Fury? Where's Fury today? Fury watch.
It's a damn shame. Damn shame.
It is a damn shame. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.